We actually live in medieval times because everything now is mid and evil. Therefore, the modern world is truly medieval. There are no more truly exciting movies that we look for. There's no more real celebrities like we used to have. Video games also feel boring and they're not as exciting as they used to be. Even people's color preferences have drastically shifted. Compared to 30 years ago, people now wear way more gray and black clothes. Even modern architecture became completely devoid of any personality. It became gray and honestly depressing. So let's carefully unpack why the modern world became so mid and evil. Let's start with the mid part. For those who are not familiar with the Gen Z language, mid describes something that is not excessively good nor excessively bad. Therefore, mid is something in between, sort of like a completely tasteless meal. Plain rice with no flavor whatsoever, no salt, no pepper, not even ketchup. Just really mid, completely tasteless. The term mid originated from video games. It originally described mid players, players who are not good nor bad, they're just somewhere in between. So let me first explain why everything in the modern world is completely mid, at least in the West. Let's start with the movie industry because I'm quite familiar with it. Many of the faceless channels that I ran were related to the movie industry, and that's how I mainly made my millions. So I'm quite familiar with the Hollywood. And at this point, Hollywood is in complete decline, almost a free fall. Not entirely in terms of numbers, but in terms of popularity and overall excitement. As someone who was following the movie industry for the last 2 decades, I can honestly say that no upcoming movie right now feels as exciting as they were even 5 years ago. Everything is just mid. There were times when people were excited about Harry Potter movies. It was a worldwide phenomenon. The same thing applied to Marvel movies. Every new Marvel movie was more exciting than the previous one. There was an actual hype, and now it's all gone. The movie industry is a prime example to illustrate why everything feels mid, because movies is what general population gets excited about as a whole. Movies are our collective dreams and myths, and although one might think that they can be dismissed as simple entertainment, they're actually much more than that. These are dreams of our collective subconscious, and the fact that no movie or event feels exciting anymore is extremely disturbing. People were waiting for years in anticipation for their favorite new movie to come out, like Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings, even Fast and Furious, and the last wave of hype was Marvel. However, now everything's gone. Everything is just mid. Every new movie is just good enough, but not particularly exciting at all. Even these huge franchises like Star Wars and Jurassic Park went completely downhill. The last 3 Star Wars movies arguably destroyed the entire franchise, and nobody wants to see what happens next. The mythology and lore of Star Wars is irreversibly destroyed. In fact, we don't even have real celebrities like we used to. 20 years ago, a celebrity used to mean something. They had a weird aura of mystique about them. They were almost like godlike humans. They truly felt like bigger-than-life characters. And although some of these old celebrities still exist, you can argue that there are no new celebrities. In fact, there's only a handful left, like Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and maybe Robert Downey Jr., while other old celebrities like Johnny Depp or Will Smith had their reputation ruined through scandals and lawsuits. So it all proves the same argument that everything is mid. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just meh. Like a tasteless bowl of rice. Entertainment is a reflection of our collective subconsciousness. It's a reflection of our dreams and stories we tell ourselves. And the fact that nothing is really exciting anymore is truly disturbing. Hollywood removed celebrities on purpose to reduce their power. 30 years ago, A-list celebrities had an immense amount of leverage. And Hollywood learned that this is not ideal for their business. When you have these huge celebrities, they possess way too much leverage and can demand way higher paychecks. 30 years ago, these celebrities were truly irreplaceable. People wanted to see a Brad Pitt movie or a Tom Cruise movie, but now this concept doesn't even exist anymore. I think Hollywood understood that if you give celebrities too much power, it's not that good for business, which is why now there are no real celebrities. There are well-known actors, but this concept of a huge, bigger-than-life celebrity is mostly gone, which is one of the main reasons why. In addition to really bad writing, and most movies turned into propaganda instead of good stories, everything in the entertainment industry feels completely mid. But it's not just with the movies, it's the same thing with video games. 10-15 years ago, video games used to be truly fun. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what happened. It could be that we just got used to them. Maybe we just fried our dopamine receptors to the point that nothing feels exciting. But I don't think that's the only reason. Prioritizing safety and political correctness, other political agendas, and complete unwillingness to experiment all led to the stagnation of the entertainment industry, which is why nothing feels exciting anymore. Everything is mid and gray. Even if we look at the modern architecture, in the last 30 or so years it became more and more gray. There are less vibrant colors and the design is completely devoid of any personality. Everything is just square gray boxes. It's almost as if the intention is to make everything as impersonal as possible. What's really disturbing is the same trend is noticeable in the colors that people choose to wear or colors of their purchases. If we compare the world 30 years ago versus today, we can see that people wear more and more of neutral gray clothes right now. For some reason, people do not want to wear bright colors. It's almost as if everybody wants to blend in and become this one gray mass by their own choice. It is truly disturbing because this is not imposed on us. People willingly choose to wear completely neutral clothes. The same trend is noticeable in car purchases. For some reason, people stopped buying bright-colored cars like red, blue, or green. So while the sales of red cars declined, the sales of white, black, and gray cars skyrocketed in the last 30 years. So these progressively gray color choices over the years is another huge reason why everything feels boring and mid right now. Even visually, the world is becoming more and more gray, which is honestly kind of sad. It's almost as if all the colors were sucked into our screens and phones. So that's the overall explanation why everything feels mid. And because of that, everything is evil. There are so many conflicts in the world that you cannot not call it evil. Also, because of the internet, all the injustices, corruption, and exploitation is now fully available to the general public. And it's the awareness of all these evil things what makes the world feel more evil. While 30 or 40 years ago, the same things might have been happening. They were completely hidden from the general public. We were blissfully ignorant. Because we did not have the internet, we simply did not know about all these evil things that are happening in the world. We did not really know how bad the inflation problem is. We did not know about the corporate corruption, forever wars, how the pharma industry exploits its customers or its patients, how everything is commercialized and for profit. We were not fully aware of all these things because we did not have the internet. However, looks like we obtained the forbidden knowledge and now we realize how many evil things actually exist in the world. And it's this awareness and awakening to the evil is what makes this whole situation even more disturbing. So that's why everything now feels mid and evil. It's almost as if we live in medieval times. However, because there are so many outrageous scandals, because there are so many movies that do not make any sense in Hollywood, because of this explosion of knowledge on the internet, I've made millions and millions of dollars on faceless channels. Once my first channel started making over 10K plus a month, I've created another one using the same formula. Over the years, I hired more and more people and my portfolio grew to over 100 channels. Since there are so many controversies in the world, so many injustices and scams, I've made millions and millions of dollars talking about them. I was running channels in various different niches, including politics, economics, money, corporate scandals, corporate exploitation, various food and advertisement scandals. Because there are so many things to expose, so much manipulation have taken place, there's almost an endless amount of content to be made. People are genuinely interested in learning about how they were deceived or exploited. That's why these videos made millions and millions of views, and I've made millions and millions of dollars. We might be living through great noticing or great awakening because all the evil things in the world are exposed. If you are interested in these topics, you can make the same type of content. I have a blueprint in my community on how to run a successful faceless YouTube channel. So if you follow these exact steps, you can make tens of thousands of dollars per month talking about things that you're actually interested in without even showing your face. I had many people working for me and I've managed over 100 channels. However, you can just have one channel and make 5K plus per month easily if you just follow the exact steps in my community. So even though everything is mid and evil, there are still ways to make some real money. Because of the invention of the internet and the freedom of information, we live through the Great Awakening, the Great Noticing. And because of that, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, on talking about and exposing evil things and things that completely degraded and became mid in the last 20 years. People are noticing and they are genuinely interested in these topics. In general, you can have a successful faceless YouTube channel in almost any niche. The most important thing is that you have to be genuinely interested in the topic that you talk about in your videos. So even though exposing scams, deceptions, and things that became worse in the last 30 or 40 years get way more views because they fall in the category of controversy, you can still make a lot of money even talking about less controversial things. I've also had other channels that were education and entertainment oriented, and they were making some serious money as well. So even though so many things in our world are mid and evil, you can still make a lot of money on it.